Hi, so welcome to section 4. In this, we're going to talk about a subject which is very near and dear to my heart, and that is naps. We're going to learn how to hack naps so that we can become napping ninjas. We're going to learn how to use naps as sort of a secret power, like a secret weapon, to help us improve our levels of rest each day, to help counteract sleep deprivation, to make sure that our energy levels are really high when we need them so that we can stay productive and stay focused when our circadian rhythms are at their peak. Now, if you remember that our circadian rhythm is always going up and down, we've got to make sure that we incorporate periods of rest when we really need them. And the best way to do that is by taking a nap. And if you're blushing when you think about, well, I couldn't take a nap, or I'm too busy, or what have you, in this lecture, I'm going to seriously try to help you to reconsider. So if you're on the fence about this, make sure you watch this whole video. Napping is a very wonderful and effective tool that a lot of influential and powerful people have used to great effect. I know in my own life, it's made a huge difference in the quality of my life. When I was young, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I always thought that there was something wrong with me because I felt like I was chronically fatigued. I remember driving to classes in my community college, and I feel like I'm going to fall asleep on the side of the road because I was always tired all the time. And I didn't know what was wrong with me. I thought I had a serious health issue. Like maybe my diet was off. As it turns out, there was nothing wrong with me, except I didn't understand this process of the circadian rhythm and how to really incorporate these periods of rest into my daily schedule. Now I do, and I feel like I have way more energy. I can get way much more done. I feel fantastic all of the time when I'm awake. Not all the time, but most of the time. But here's the thing, napping gets a lot of disrespect. People always say that they're too busy to nap. We're in such a rush, we're such a hurried society that we're always on the go, 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 and we tend to sacrifice things like our social relationships, our diet, our rest, which is an integral part of who we are and what we need. To make matters worse, most people who do nap, most people who are advocate of naps, they only do it because they're forced to. It's like having their feet put to the fire when the problem is bad enough. If you're an insomniac and you can't sleep, you're going through the day tired, then you're much more likely to nap when the pain of the problem is very severe. But I would like to suggest that even if you do sleep well now, that you still seriously consider at least one daily nap, or at least one nap 3 times per week. And I'm going to tell you about why that is. First of all, it's very, 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 very important to really incorporate periods of rest and renewal at the appropriate times. We're really familiar with this concept of the circadian rhythm by now, and when it's at its lowest, when our energy is going down, when it's dipping, don't try to fight it. It's really important not to fight that and not try to push through, go, 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 because we're really going to pay the price. It's going to take a toll. It's going to tax our system. Our health is going to suffer. Our minds are going to suffer. Our focus is going to suffer. We're going to experience a backlash later, especially if we do something like drink caffeine. Then we're not going to be able to sleep at night, and then it just kind of compounds the issue. Now, it's been scientifically proven that napping has other benefits. And in one study by the Harvard School of Public Health, the researchers found that they studied over 23,600 Greek men and women and found that those that napped 3 times per week for 30 minutes had a 37% reduced risk of heart disease. And they were only measuring that one variable for heart disease, but it's a good chance in these studies when something improves health in one area, it's going to improve health in other areas and reduce rates of disease for other things like obesity or other things like this cancer. So it's really important to wrap your head around that there's serious health benefits to napping. And as a matter of fact, I remember reading an article recently about this Greek island called Icaria, named after Icarus, the Greek mythological character who flew a little bit too high and fell into the sea. I shouldn't be laughing. But in Icaria, the people, it's called the island where people forget to die, basically, because 4 times as many Icarian men reach age 90 than in the US, and often in much, much better health. And a daily nap is a staple of their routine. And of course, also light exposure. They get outside, go outdoors, go to the sea, go to the garden, spend time, getting light into their eyes. That's a big part of it too. But a daily nap is a big part of their routine too. So, furthermore, many of the most influential people in modern history that we all know about, who we all learn about, Winston Churchill, John F. Kennedy, Thomas Edison, Napoleon Bonaparte. All of them used napping to improve their energy levels, to be more productive, so they could keep healthy while they dealt with a lot of the stress and pressure that they had to leading the world, basically, or in Edison's case, lighting up the world. To Winston Churchill in particular, naps were so important that he kept his own personal bed in the House of Parliament. He credited it with being able to help him get through the war, World War II. And he said that without his nap, with his nap, he was able to get twice as much done during the day. And I don't think Winston Churchill knew about the circadian rhythm because there wasn't much research on it in the 1940s. But he wrote in his memoirs that he observed the circadian rhythm. He said that nature has not intended for man to work from 8 a.m. to midnight without the refreshment of blessed oblivion, and speaking of which, I took a nap personally before I took this video. I, for some reason, woke up at around 4:30 a.m. this morning. I had some stress carried over from the night before that I took to bed with me, and it really cut my sleep short. So I probably wouldn't be able to even record this video that you're watching now if I hadn't taken a nap, a 20-minute nap before shooting. It's so important, you know. If I hadn't taken my nap, I probably would have just written off the rest of my day, said, you know, like, let's go watch a movie or something, let's do something else. But thanks to my nap, and I only slept 4 hours last night, but one nap, which I'll tell you more about later, can actually reduce your overall sleep requirement by 2 hours, one 30-minute nap. So I might do one nap in this afternoon before I shot this video, and might do another one 3 or 4 hours, depending on how I feel later. But I think naps are really, really important, and I really want to sell you on it, and hopefully I have during this video. And I don't want you to feel any embarrassment or shame about napping. I don't want you to feel like you're being lazy. I think it's really important that, you know, when you're awake, you're really focused and you're able to get things done quickly. You're really intensely concentrating. And, you know, I can get way more done when I incorporate that nap, when my body temperature dips around, you know, 2:30, 3:30 p.m. Just nod off, find a good quiet place to take a nap. And I also find that napping really helps me to train myself to fall asleep better. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a later lecture. But for now, this is Introduction to Napping, and I will see you in the next module.